If
This is Barclays WSL 2. Let's go.
Absolute rockets. And that is a lovely goal.
Big names, new faces, intense rivalry.
Bring it under control, raise it back, and it's hammered into the top corner.
And curls it in at the far post.
And there was no stopping that one. The London City Lionesses have roared into the Barclays Women's Super League.
A very warm welcome to our live coverage of Nottingham Forest versus Portsmouth in Barclays Women's Super League 2. The whole game coming right up from the City Ground with me, Jack Woodward, talking you through the action. Quite the Sunday afternoon in store. The hosts in search of their first home points in the second tier. They've been absolutely fine on the road, winning both away matches. As for the visitors, a huge week for Pompey with a double to come against South Coast rivals Southampton in League and Cup. For now, their priority is very much trying to pick up their first away points of the campaign. Let's have a look at the teams then. Carly Davis makes two changes to the Forest lineup, getting the nod are Chloe Mustaki and Nahikari Garcia, the latter scoring the winner in one of their two league victories today. Swedes Eberhard and Tuve Almqvist both drop out. Deanne Rose, Vivienne Leah and Chantel Boy Clorker provide a very dangerous front three, potentially, with good options on the bench. How they would love to entertain their home fans with a victory. The two sets of players are out onto the field of play. Forest buzzing after back-to-back triumphs against Newcastle in the League Cup and Bristol City in WSL 2. Here's the Portsmouth team. 3 alterations to the 11 that started their defeat to Ipswich. In come Annie Wilding, Jemima Dahu and Ella Rutherford, with Greta Humphreys, Sophie Barker and Emma Jones, who was forced off early last time out, making way. Pompey winning just the one of their 4 league matches to date. They would draw level on points with their opponents with a maximum here. Forest in the huddle, those final words of wisdom to be imparted. And they will go for broke here. The last meeting, actually, between these two was a 5-0 success for Forest in a League Cup semi-final in March of 2023. Much has changed for both clubs, and it has to be said, in a positive way since then. So we're just drawing towards the big kickoff. Has Boy Clorker got a goal up her sleeve? I wonder. Did score late in the defeat to Palace. Portsmouth in the lower reaches, but they won't panic. Given what happened last season, it was the greatest of great escapes, really. They were very much a slow burner, but when they needed to get the results, they most definitely got them. Jay Sadler's been talking about showing a little bit more of aggression, trying to get on the front foot. Forest, you would think, will start this game as the favourites. Good team togetherness under Carly Davis since her appointment in August of 2023. Our referee is Laura Van Leer, assisted by Dora Jacob and John Ashworth Sears, with 4th official Alice Parker, just going through the pre-match rituals. Green, the captain of Forest, and Jazz Bull, skippers, the Portsmouth women, having been made a permanent signing in July. Should be a fascinating tussle, this. Forest flourishing on the road. They did enjoy a win here in the League Cup. They'd like to get the 3 points in this one. The Sheffield United going well in the early kickoff below Portsmouth. They wouldn't want to be dropping into the lower reaches of the table. Before we get underway, the players take the knee to mark Black History Month, standing firm in power and pride. An important and powerful message. Laura Van Leer gets us started in WSL 2. Forest head-to-head with Portsmouth, who are hoping to be tremendous Trent side. Immediately it's a free kick for the home team, taken by Jessie Stapleton, wearing their number 2, just getting a feel of the ball, trying to set the tone for this contest. Great to have your company wherever you're watching the broadcast. Showing some urgency from the outset, but I think they're expecting the visitors to be a tough nut to crack here. That one victory over Sheffield United, Meg Hornby's free kick was enough to get the better of the Blades. Aside from that, it's been an early season of struggle. They feel they should have got something from the exciting game against Ipswich last time out. Wrong end of a tight 5-goal thriller. Away by Hannah Cohn. Dahu challenging Garcia for Forest, an exciting signing. Previously he's played for the likes of Real Madrid. Who's going to carve out the early opportunity? They've taken well to life in the second tier of Forest since their promotion, won the double last season, successful in the National League Cup as well. But a patient passing football with Molly Green. Stapleton with a simple pass. Third minute then at the City Ground. This place was absolutely buzzing the other night with the men's team returning to European football at home. Didn't get the outcome they wanted. The women will hope for a very different result here. Fairly slow tempo to the opening exchanges. Has little meaning, really, that last meeting I was talking about earlier, the 5-0 success for Forest in the League Cup a couple of years ago. National League Cup, that is. Didn't quite get the run of it there. Vivienne Lear, just been at the club for over a month on a season's loan from Arsenal. England under-19 international, played in the Euros in Poland in the summer. She'll definitely try and influence proceedings here. Now, what can Pompey muster? Meg Hornby slightly mistimed a run. Hornby is a player who can provide the inspiration. Formerly a Blackburn In fact, Portsmouth have quite a few players who previously featured with Rovers. Stapleton. Republic of Ireland international. Was actually named their young player of the year in June. Dependable rock at the back for Nottingham Forest. Hoping to build something down this left side, and it's the pacey Garcia. But Izzy Collins over to meet her. Wasn't allowing her to settle there, providing that barrier. Collins has been with the club for a while now. Joined for the 2022-2023 season, so has tasted the highs of gaining promotion. That did so well to remain at this level last season. Was looking bleak for them at one point, trying to get a few passes together, but Dahu has lost out here, and here comes the shot from range. It's the first effort on target of the game. It's pouched by the Portsmouth keeper, Jess Gray. But Forest will take some encouragement from that. Primer for the ever-willing Rutherford. Rutherford with the early ball. And the team in red just calmly able to clear their lines. That's good composure in a tight spot from the home defence. And here's Chantal Boy-Clarke having just had that drive towards goal. Now she plays the pass. It's Deanne Rose. Rose, can she produce some magic? Goes for glory, and it's another stop for Gray. Well, first it was Boy-Clarke, and now Deanne Rose, the Canada international, would have hoped to get either side of the keeper there, but unable to find the back of the net. A couple of quick-fire opportunities, though, for the Tricky Trees. They were both very similar, actually, in their nature. The efforts from Boy-Clarke and then Rose, driven with decent amount of purchase, but good positioning and routine stops for Jess Gray, who played at this level for Charlton last season. One of several new signings on show. Seven gone, 0-0. Carly Davis's Nottingham Forest have looked the more likely scorers so far, with a couple of shots from just outside the box from Boy-Clarke and Deanne Rose. Rose, who did win a gold medal in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics with Canada, playing a big part in that success. Made a debut for a country at the tender age of 16. The team from the South Coast will expect to do their fair amount of defending. Started the day in 11th. They have lost both of their away games. Determined to add to their tally of 3 points. Was there a foul there by Green? There was on Hornby, looking to slip away from the Nottingham Forest defender. Green, last season's player of the season for the double winners. He's got an abundance of experience of playing at this level of women's football, which continues to go from strength to strength. So it's going to be the right of Freeland or the left of Rutherford here. Just a one-player wall. Bit of a token gesture. It is Rutherford who hoists it menacingly. It's a really good ball as well, the low header, and it's just wide of the post. Well, they're claiming maybe a handball or something. Beating the ground in frustration there is Hannah Cohen, the defender, forward from the bat. A beauty of a ball in. She steered that magnificently. And Hannah Cohen feels she should have scored. Did take a touch, and it will be a corner. The Portsmouth number 5 was hoping that would be a goal. Vice captain. Corner kick. Good pressure applied here. Jay Sadler will be very pleased with that chance for Cohn, who is an option here. Just lurking with intent. 10th minute. It's deflected at that near post, and Garcia chases that one. Bent in by Rutherford, who, judging by what we've seen in recent moments, might be wreaking havoc with her dead ball deliveries. Seemed to be Forest who'd settled in the better, but Portsmouth with a flurry of activity. Best chance of the game so far. Falling onto the head of Hannah Cohen. Nearly tremendous Trent side for her. They'll take some heart from that. Foul by Amy Rogers. Was delighted to get a win against her old club last time out, Bristol City. Thought she had a goal, actually. I think it was given as an OG against the keeper, Fran Bentley, but a great long-range drive. Having joined Forest in the summer from the Robins. Wilding for Portsmouth. Green. Rogers aims to thread it through the eye of the needle. She's pricked by that needle, though, somewhat. And here come Portsmouth now. This is an opportunity for the visiting team, and it's steered into the corner. Really well struck, and it's Hornby. She was the scoring star in the win over Sheffield United. Their only success so far. Pompey wants another one. It's the perfect start here. Hornby was never going to miss. It's Marvellous Meg for Portsmouth at the City Ground. Emily Batty unable to keep it out. She had a lot of time to think about that, did Hornby. She proves the hot shot for the team from the South Coast. She's going to be a very important player this season in the second tier, you feel. It's Nottingham Forest 0, Portsmouth 1. And they had shown their threat with that headed opportunity from the free kick for the defender, Hannah Cohen. And it's the forward player, Hornby, who made no mistake. She had time into the perfect position. She timed her run. It was a lovely ball towards her. And that's exceptional finishing from the former Blackburn player. She scored on the final day of the season against her old club. On target here, and she does, it would seem, tend to score important goals. Forest rock back. And Hornby trying to play the pass this time. It was Rutherford with the assist. She's been superb, picking holes in the Forest rearguard so far. Of course, it was her free kick floated appetisingly forward, which was headed close by Cohn, and Rutherford knocking that one through along the turf for Hornby to do the rest. Now, Forest in response. Boychlorka searching, but couldn't find Vivienne Leah. Well, they did come back against Bristol City, who admittedly were down to 10 for the whole of the second half. Chloe Mustaki, one of the changes, 30-year-old Republic of Ireland international. coming into the fold for this one. She actually talked about the experience she was going to bring to the lineup and reveling in that role when she joined the club. But a team are in arrears. Boyd-Lorca powered an early drive forward when it was 0-0, but Portsmouth have been well organised, looked really good on the break as well. Jay Sadler has worked hard with the players in training this week after their disappointment of losing to Ipswich. That's a yellow card issued by referee Laura Van Leer. Garcia, the guilty party, doesn't look too impressed with that decision from the ref. She's got quite the CV, Garcia. Played in the World Cup with Spain. Here's the ball forward again and making mischief with another ball from the set piece scenario, but now it's Forest keen to charge. Freeland challenging away, falling to the turf. Well, they'll be absolutely thrilled with the way they've gone about their business so far. Looking to push on this term, having stayed up after their promotion. Can they keep this going? It's not as if the goal came out of the blue. They had been pushing Forest back before they were able to set Hornby away. Primer with Boyd-Lorca flying in. Forest began the day in fourth, winning their 2 away, losing the 2 home matches. Pompey, I suppose, had to be of the opinion, well, we're not looking over our shoulders. We're thinking we can draw level on points with our opponents with a win. And that, yes, it's early days, but they'll feel that on course for that. Smashed up field. Back with the team in Garibaldi red. Rogers for Chantel Boyd-Lorca, who likes to drop deep, comes looking for the ball. Stapleton. On a seasons-long loan from West Ham. Rogers pulling the strings in the centre. Just steadying themselves after the setback of conceding. And here's an effort from 20 yards away. Always going wide of the target, though. Boyd-Lorca with the ball forward. Garcia competing, but never likely to trouble Jess Gray, who knows if she can keep a clean sheet, her team are on course for a very good afternoon in the East Midlands. We'll round up the rest of the scores at half-time for you. It's a busy day of action with all of the 12 teams playing today. Forest will be exasperated because they had been building up some momentum with the 2 wins in League and Cup going into this. But their bubble burst by Meg Hornby in the early stages of this one. Stapleton. Kirsty Smith. The Scots. Summer signing. That one's well over the target. Rogers doing everything she can to make things happen. Jess Gray came through the player development pathway at the London City Lionesses. Now between the posts for Pompey. She's made what she would probably see as a couple of routine stops. Might actually need some treatment. The Portsmouth physio is out to have a look at the away number 1. She's been fairly busy so far without being too stressed, you'd say. One shot going well wide, one over the bar, and 2 she gathered with a minimum of fuss. And Jay Sadler will be very, very happy just getting a few words of instruction over to his players. Jay, who was the LMA Championship Manager of the Year, has been at the club for many years, has overseen their development. Carly Davis, what she got up her sleeve. Certainly not the opening she planned, but still plenty of time to resolve the situation. They'll be keeping everything crossed that Jess Gray can continue. The keeper on the bench for Portsmouth, by the way, is Comfort Erhabor. Youngster, who was on loan from Brighton for the second half of last season, became a permanent signing, but she's not going to be required for the time being, with Jess Gray back on her feet. Someone told me a good phrase, actually, the other day. Every setback is the setup for a comeback. I don't know whether that'll be one for Carly to get over to her team. Stapleton likes to get forward, but currently on halfway. Smith. Deanne Rose. That's excellent. Superb work from Forest number 6. Plays it across the face of goal, and it spins through for the keeper off the boots of Naikari Garcia. But Deanne Rose attempting to light the red touch paper here for Nottingham Forest. Didn't get the run of the ball. She was ready to pull the trigger there, was Garcia, but it span annoyingly away for her, and Jess Gray was very happy to collect the ball. Better, though, from Forest in this type of match when things aren't happening for you. You need your flair players, you need your forwards perhaps to take it by the scruff of the neck, and that's exactly what Rose sought to do there. And here they are again now. It's lovely footwork from Vivienne Leah, but blocked. Having a good spell, Boy Clarker. All Nottingham Forest at the moment, just past the midway point of the first half. Live on WSL2's YouTube channel. Just shepherded behind that ball by Hannah Cohn. It was her foray forward, actually, and header, which almost broke the deadlock, which set up this Portsmouth performance. Did her defensive duties to good effect there. Meg Hornby's goal, separating the two sides. Expertly taken. Was released by Rutherford. Strode forward with purpose and finish. They want another one here. It's Freeland. Hornby, the goal scorer, in oceans of space. Closed down by Stapleton. Hornby still going. And it's saved by the legs of Emily Batty. Follow-up shot deflected. Another excellent counter from the visitors. Hornby has already scored once, and she wasn't far from doubling her tally for the afternoon. It's proving a productive one. She's made some outstanding darting runs. It was an unlikely angle, but she's oozing confidence. Is the player who broke the deadlock, and Emily Batty did her thing. She's made over 100 appearances on Trent's side. Former Golden Glove winner in the FA Women's National League Northern Premier. Used her legs to good effect. 25th minute. Portsmouth's first corner from the left-hand side. Up they go again. And Cone forward from the back. Away by the keeper. And then on the rebound, it's over the bar after a deflection. But they really are giving the Forest defence plenty of headaches here. And particularly Hannah Cone. Every time she goes up there, she's sensing the unease in the opposing rearguard, making her presence felt. Portsmouth a good value for their lead here. Another set-piece scenario. Ella Rutherford on duty. She's provided some sumptuous balls into the box so far, has Rutherford. In it comes again, punched away this time by Batty. Hornby just outside the box. Nice back heel towards her by Dahu, and Hornby fizzes over the cross. Batty commanding, judged the flight well, and then punts it good distance, trying route one. And why not when you got a player like Deanne Rose as an option for you? Stapleton. Kirsty Smith was on target in the opening day, lost to Newcastle. And in the League Cup win over Newcastle here. Actually, all 3 goals in that game came in 4 minutes. Leah. Strong on the ball. And it's a first-time cross. Mustaki, but Jess Gray, who did receive treatment earlier, showing no ill effects. And it's her turn to blast one. Green goes over to meet it. Stapleton for Smith. Kirsty Smith. Deanne Rose. Boy Clarker. Shields the ball very well indeed. Smith, just a moment of sloppiness there. Wasn't able to guide it back for Boy Clarker. And that perhaps epitomises Nottingham Forest game so far. They haven't threatened Portsmouth's goal too much. A few long-range efforts, and there was that weaving run by Deanne Rose. Rogers. Mustaki. Vivienne Leah. Headed away by Primer this time. Rogers. Just making things tick for Forest, having a better spell here for the home side, but it falls for Georgie Freeland. It's been the classic away performance, really. Well drilled. They've hassled and harried when they've been off the ball. When they've had it, they've made the most of it with the goal. They've had other chances, Portsmouth, and have been wreaking havoc with the set pieces as well. It's only a frail advantage at the moment with Garcia waiting in the middle here. And Vivienne Leah, again, just mopping up. Right place, right time was Georgie Freeland. grew up in Portsmouth. She knows the club inside out. Won the title in her first season. Lives and breathes the club. Jay Sadler's has called her an unsung hero. Well, it's nearly a third of the way through the contest, and the visitors will be much the happier camp. A half hour of fruitless toil for Forest so far, but it can change in an instant. Green for Smith with the pivot. Rogers started a career with Liverpool in WSL, had 4 years there. Also a feature for London City Lionesses. Boychlorka, Smith always seems to be available down the right flank, plays it early. And Deanne Rose for Boychlorka. More hard graft off the ball. Excellent application from Jemima Dahu. Stapleton will bring you the key moments at half-time if you've missed any of them. The Hornby goal for Portsmouth, some of the other glimpses of goal. But on opportunities generated, you'd say Portsmouth merit their advantage. It's Smith for Deanne Rose. Garcia into the penalty area. Rose tries to take it in a stride, but the danger snuffed out by a well-organised Portsmouth rearguard, being marshalled superbly by Hannah Cohn. That looked promising. Exploring every avenue. Deanne Rose crowded out. Stapleton. And Molly Green for Mustaki. Freya Thomas, in her second spell with the club, played a pivotal role last season. Mustaki for Vivienne Leah. Thomas getting more involved. Goal scorer in the last game. She's actually won the WSL2 title with Leicester as Freya Thomas. We've got bags of experience in the squad, but they still find themselves behind. Boychlorka for Deanne Rose. Embarks on another surge. Brilliant stuff again from Rose. Taking this contest by the ball by the horns. Leah having a good spell in the game. Can they carve out a scoring possibility during this stint? Stapleton for Green. Mustaki with Leah hugging the far touchline. Thomas. Garcia. Away by Jazz Bull, wearing that armband with pride. He's really immersed herself in the club since joining. 34th minute, 1-0 to Portsmouth. Stapleton and Smith. But plenty of doors being slammed shut in their faces. Forest have had the greater share of possession and territory of late, but Hornby is a great outlet, isn't she? Leading that line tirelessly with Rutherford pinging those passes. You wouldn't say it's been a smash and grab, really. I think that's probably not giving Portsmouth enough credit. They might have to do some defending here, and they have won themselves a goal kick. It's Izzy Collins up against Mustaki. Plucky, spirited, successful so far, the Pompey women. Actually finished 9th last season, their first as a second-tier club, winning 3 of their last 6 games, including 4-0 against Blackburn on the final day. Goes down as a great escape, especially, you know, they lost their first 7 league games, so they've done better than that already. They want their 2nd win of the season here. Still 10 minutes left of this first half. Hornby, the sharp shooter, with the goal. She might have had another one since that. That just eludes the grasp of Kirsty Smith. Got this game right where they want it, of Portsmouth. And a busy day of action in WSL too. Sheffield United 3-2 up against Ipswich. What a game that is. In the 1 o'clock kickoff. Elsewhere, Southampton leading at Birmingham. Bristol City 1-0 up on Durham. Charlton leading at Sunderland. Here comes Hornby again. What a performance from her. Cuts it back. Hungry for a second. They're not going to rest on their laurels. They've been positive since taking the lead. Wilding and Collins. Thomas. And Smith. Clever little turf trimmer. Boy Clarker, but just goes about her job, doesn't she, Dahu? In an unassuming way, but allowing others around her to flourish. Really good collective team display from Portsmouth. Here's the chip. It's a good ball forward as well for Deanne Rose, who tries to guide it back unselfishly towards Boy Clarker, but more fine defending does the job for Pompey. But if they are to get a goal here, you'd think Deanne Rose is probably going to be involved. She's really had some decent little sequences. Again, sowing the seeds of doubt. Mustaki. Thomas. That's nice. Tried to recover her footing. Will it come now for Garcia, who squeezes the shot away? Took a little deflection off Cone. Garcia, hopeful of getting the leveller, but unable to find a way past Jess Gray. It's another half chance for the home team. They haven't let their heads drop since conceding. Pushing for that equaliser. You wouldn't say Gray's had to make a memorable save, though. She's had 2 or 3 that have come straight to her. Boy Clarker had one of those when the score was still 0-0. Smith. Good overlapping run from Rogers. Smith. Boy Clarker. Lovely technique to keep the ball. This is very good build-up from the home side. Didn't really get anywhere that time. Enjoying a good spell of possession here, Forest. And now Kirsty Smith with the ball towards Leah. Mustaki goes to gather. Viviane Leah. Can she dip into a box of tricks here? Combative stuff, but she couldn't keep the ball. Hornby dropping deep. in an attempt to instigate. Gets it back, but Molly Green in a good position for Forest. 40th minute. They trail to Hornby's early goal. Smith plays it firmly. Excellent run this by Boychlorka for Nottingham Forest. Pinging one in. Danger hasn't gone for Portsmouth. Garcia. Back to goal. Felt she should have got the decision there as the shot was driven in. Well, she's claiming that the challenge was inside the box, I think. We're definitely making life difficult there. Garcia bundled over by Collins, and the free kick awarded. She fell outside the box. I think that's the right call. It was just outside, but a great opportunity here for Forest. Mustaki's over it. I think this is going to be the skipper, though, isn't it? Vivian Leah is hovering. It's a 5-player wall for Portsmouth. Into the final 5 of the first 45. Garcia's persistence and trickery won the free kick. Is it going to be the left of Mustaki or the right of the skipper? It is Green. Will it end up in the back of the net? No. The save was made by Gray. It just escaped her grasp, but no effort on the follow-up. And Forest denied. She hit that. Well did the skipper, Molly Green. But it's been Portsmouth Day at the City Ground so far. A low grass cutter of a drive from the set piece from captain Molly. Just outside the penalty area. Are they going to get a better chance than that in this first half? You do feel that getting into a rhythm now. I think Portsmouth will be grateful for that half-time whistle. However, they've repelled everything thrown at them, not least that free kick from Molly Green. She is a goal-scoring defender, without a shadow of a doubt, but wasn't able to ripple the net with that one. That was Deanne Rose again. So Jess Gray, that was probably the best save she's made. That free kick from Green. There's no way she was going to be able to gather it, so she was grateful that the ball didn't bobble to an opposition player. She's played her part in a defiant display, but they've had quality when they've needed it of Portsmouth. Leah and Stapleton. Green. You probably should say she's come the closest to hauling her team level. Leah on the right side this time. Can she make something happen here? Leah for Deanne Rose. Good battle that with Primer. And it is going to be a corner kick. Rose trying to get her team off the pitch. Chloe Mustaki, one of the Forest changes. Republic of Ireland international. The cavalry forward from the back. Here she goes then, Mustaki. Right wing, left boot. Clawed away. Nearly powered in. It's a bit of a goal-mouth scramble. And she gets a chance from open play here, does Mustaki. Good touch. And then hoists one, hopefully. An effort driven in. First by Leah. And then from much closer in, Deanne Rose just lifted her head and lifts the ball high and wide. Well, they're getting better as the half goes on, and as attacking unit here, Forest. A double chance there, first for Leah and then Rose. But no save required on this occasion from Jess Gray, who looks set to keep her sheet clean in the first half. 2 minutes of added time. We're about to enter the first minute of those. They've sculpted a few half chances, you'd say. We've had the green free kick. That effort from Deanne Rose as well. Now Boychlorker chases this one down. Good control into the penalty area. Boychlorker, good save. She's been superb. Hers, Jess Gray. Boychlorker fancied her chances there of getting Forest level on the stroke of half-time. But Gray did her thing, headed away. It's all Forest towards the end of this opening period. Leah, dancing feet. Vivienne Leah, arcing ball. Well, that was like one of Robin Hood's arrows here at Forest, but Boychlorker was at the far post. She couldn't get it into the back of the net. She did have a good chance before that, though. But Jess Gray with some smart shot stopping towards the end of this first half. Forest kept at bay. It's been a slow burner, really, for the hosts. Portsmouth were the better team in the first half hour, but Forest have really picked up their game in recent minutes. Is Boychlorker. What a challenge that is from Cohen, who you'd have to say has been one of the players of the half, both going forward and doing a main job at the back. She had to get that right. If she'd mistimed it, would have been a pen. Great challenge. Closing seconds of this first half of the City Ground in WSL 2. Leah grappling for supremacy with Primer. And this should be the final action of the first half. Another corner. It's the 30-year-old Chloe Mustaki. Chloe with the corner. The flag just fluttering next to her. In it comes. Away well at the near post. More sterling work from Gray and her defenders. Leah, Mustaki, good touch. Clips one in. And then well wide. A frustrating first half for Nottingham Forest. They trail to Meg Hornby's goal. And it was a belter of a finish as well. They were strong at the back. And Hornby provided the finishing flourish with pace, prowess and precision into the corner in the early stages. There were chances for both sides after that. Portsmouth worked really hard to find themselves in the ascendancy at the break. Forest have laboured, they've huffed and they've puffed. They haven't blown down a well-constructed house of Pompey, who are looking for that away victory, and they're halfway towards achieving it. More drama to come, I'm sure, in the second half. At the break, though, at the City Ground, it's Nottingham Forest women 0, Portsmouth 1.
It's a lovely ball through to Ralph, and she can chip the goalkeeper, Ralph, and it's in. And Sheffield United get the equaliser. I believe Lucy Thomas had a touch, but it does not matter. Sheffield United have their goal. The goal they've been looking for so long. This lovely through ball from Reveal finds Ralph. Sheffield United 1, Birmingham 1. Now Birmingham City are launching an attack. It's launched forward, and oh, what a mistake from the goalkeeper Keane. And this could be 2-1, and it is 2-1. Katie Keane with the big mistake. Absolutely gifting it to Birmingham City. And they say thank you very much. Launched forward by Sari. We thought Katie Keane had it covered, but she didn't. And Lily Crossway, an absolute crazy end to this game, to this fixture. Rose does well, goes past Morgan into the area, she goes. Chance, that's taken. Forest are level. A well-worked move. And the goal is scored by Freya Thomas. Good strength from Boy Hawker. Oh, for goal! And it's in! Forest have turned it around. Wonderful strike. That has completely done Bentley.
Now Watson could be away here. Nothing away from Simpson, who is trying to get back. Goes between two defenders. What a goal that is from Katie Watson. Superb individual effort to give Sunderland the lead. Well, the 19-year-old sprinted clear of one challenge, went through another, and found the finish to match as well. Simpson standing over it. She sends it into a dangerous area, and it's off the post, and it's in. Sunderland protests, but the goal's been given. Oh, Chloe Peploe was on the line. It may not have been her final touch that actually took it over, but Southampton levelled.
Now it's with Hughes. Pescott. Oh, Dean with a lovely return to Pescott. Hughes has got a bit of space if Pescott opts to go back to her, but she whips across in instead. Dean with a header! Oh, Rihanna Dean! What a deft header! A beauty with the bounce. Carries it forward. Sent in low. It's Nixon again. She's out of sighter. Will she go for goal again? She does Nixon! What a strike from Angelina Nixon! Oh my word! A sensational way to bring Portsmouth level. Freeland hangs it up high. Hornby rather hangs it up high. It comes back to the edge of the area. Volleyed in! Ava Robotham had a bit of a sighter in the first half, which was too close to Negri. On this occasion, she gave her absolutely no chance. Until the end of the first half almost. And oh, they've got level straight away. Oh, the flag's up. It's not going to count. Natasha Thomas thought she had her first ever WSL 2 goal. The Ipswich staff, they are now celebrating. Rowe on the charge. Dear to Pescott. Oh, Pescott is caught. And that surely has to be a penalty. Peak. Oh, it's a superb penalty from Paige Peak. With her first since her return. Ipswich led 1-0, trailed 2-1, they now lead.
Newsham. Bradley brought down. Big appeals for a penalty, and it's given. Careless, a nudge from Demi Stokes. It is Leifting against Katie Bradley. And Bradley scores. Clinical. The perfect penalty. Nestled in the bottom corner. Murphy, and Murphy is in! Murphy to equalise! Stopped by the goalkeeper. It broke kindly for Emily Murphy. And she wasn't able to apply the finish.
Lambert away. Swaby across to meet it. It's looking to hoist it high again. It's
Heppel who heads it! And what a header that is! And what a moment that is for Durham! They have suffered so much at the hands of the Eagles of late, but they lead with 10 minutes to play. And they've done it! Crystal Palace right at the death. Grab the equaliser to spoil Durham's party.
Well, as we saw there, Forest did come from one down to win their last league game 2-1. I wonder whether Carly Davis has used that as a motivational tool at half-time. Let's have a look at the moments that mattered, the incidents that excited, the tail of the tape of the first 45 here from the City ground, with the home team started with a bit of a buzz about them. Shot there, clipped in by Deanne Rose. Comfortable save from Jess Gray. But here's the free kick from Rutherford for Portsmouth. Hannah Cohn with a header, and it just span off the Forest defender and behind for a corner. Cohn, high standard. She felt she should have scored there, but a really good ball. What a delightful, sublime, curling delivery from Rutherford. And Cohn won. And now here's Rutherford from open play, threading forward with pinpoint precision the pass, and then the run and the finish from Meg Hornby. And you can hear the cries of delight from the Portsmouth fans and technical area. Hornby showing composure, confidence and precision in the finish. It was a clever low ball from Rutherford, and Hornby said, "Thank you very much. I'm having some of that." Sliding to celebrate. 1-0 Portsmouth. They were playing with a real spring in their step. She wanted another goal, thought she might cross here, but went for goal low. Good save by the legs of Emily Batty. Maybe it was an intended cross for Freeland in the middle. Corner kick for Portsmouth. At this point, they were really in the box seat, dominating the chances. Another header. Cohn so effective with a head and a foot. That one hit wide with the aid of a deflection. Good corner kick. Forest just about dealing with that. Wasn't able to gather the ball. Emily Batty. Here's a free kick from the skipper, Molly Green, driven in low, but Jess Gray, who's had a very good game between the posts for Pompey, made the stop. She managed to get past the wall well there, did Green, but they did end the half with a dynamism, Forest, and that will have given them a little bit more positivity in the home changing room. Here are the rest of the scores. Big win in the early game for Sheffield United, getting themselves off the foot. A 3-2 success against Ipswich. The other games are half-time. Birmingham 0, Southampton 1. Bristol City 1, Durham 0. Goalless between Crystal Palace and Newcastle United here in the East Midlands. Portsmouth leading Forest 1-0. And also the away side are leading up on Wearside. It's Sunderland 0, Charlton Athletic 1. Both of those teams you'd expect to be in the higher echelons. It gets more and more competitive each year. The rebranding of WSL2 this season, all the games live for you. And what will have been the nature of that team talk from Jay Sadler? Portsmouth know it's only half the job done. As you saw there on the highlights, Meg Hornby collecting her opportunity, nearly scoring again. Forest did have their best spell of the game, a little mini purple patch in the final few minutes of that first half. And they've got to continue where they left off with a little bit more of a cutting edge in that final third. Pompey out to stop them. This game is deliciously poised. It really is. You've got a team looking to pick up their second win, who've laid the foundations for it with a first half goal. They won't just look to sit on that lead, given them by Meg Hornby, who you saw there. But Forest, as they charge at them, maybe the opportunity will arise and maybe there'll be a chance for Portsmouth on the counter. Forest want a similar second half to what they produced, admittedly against 10 players in the match against Bristol City last time out, looking for back-to-back league victories. But Portsmouth would join them on 6 points with a win. Jack Woodward talking you through the action. Great to have your company on this Sunday afternoon in early October. We're at the iconic City Ground, home of this great traditional football club, Nottingham Forest. There goes the whistle from referee Laura Van Leer. And off we go for the second 45. Forest looking for the leveller. Portsmouth hoping to build on their advantage. Gets better and better every time you look at it, actually, on the replays. The pass from Rutherford, the chief sculptor, cunningly opening up the Forest defence, allowing Hornby to run in and to finish it off. Here's Garcia for Thomas. Neither boss making a change, but Sadler much happier than Davis with the scoreline. And good options on the bench for both. Claypole, Wellings, Olding might be players that Davis would look to turn the tide in her team's favour. For now, it's the women out there who must try and restore parity. Simple for Emily Batty. Stapleton. And Smith asking an awful lot to get on the end of that one from Smith, but the idea was there, if not the execution. Gray, who was looking the worse for wear, she received some treatment during the first half, but seems to have emerged from that. Carly Davis was saying in a pre-match interview with Naz, she expected Portsmouth to be compact, to be hard to get past, and that's how it's proved. And they showed that aggression that Jay Sadler was calling for during the week, the visitors, with the early forays forward. One of them bore fruit. Now it's with Leah. Oh, Garcia, clever little dummy. Boychlorka was waiting. Now it's with Mustaki. Boychlorka, 3rd minute of the second half of the City Ground. Good work again by Izzy Collins. Thou shalt not pass is the philosophy of Izzy and her teammates, but Boychlorka is well capable of providing something out of nothing. They've got several of those types of players of Forest. It's going to be Mustaki again, I think, on dead ball duty, is it? No. She might be leaving this one for Kirsty Smith. She is indeed. Smith with the set piece. Plays it short for Mustaki. And good defending. A little bit sloppy that from Forest, and now it's a counter-attack. Oh, what a run this is from Hornby, the goal scorer. Deep inside her own half. Quickly taken corner, but she was alert, she was ready, willing and able to gather the ball for her team and relieve some of the pressure. Just what you want from one of your front players. And that sort of commitment and endeavour can spread itself through the team. It's been that sort of display and that sort of afternoon from Portsmouth so far. Bull, the captain. Is she going to lead her team to a memorable away day? Back deep in Forest territory with Green for Stapleton. They've been tested many occasions. Just when Rutherford's got in behind, playing those passes that's caused them the issues. Green, who did her very best to level things up before the break with a free kick from just outside the box, which was saved well by Gray. Here's Garcia, plays the pass. This could be the moment for Leah, who blazes high. That's a decent opportunity for the home team. Leah hoping to find the back of the net there. It was an immaculately threaded ball by the gifted Garcia, but it wasn't matched with the finish. It's a bright start to the second half from Forest nonetheless. Getting into that inside right channel. Promising corridor for them. Garcia, well capable of scoring and creating. She actually got 104 goals for Real Sociedad, their all-time top scorer. Got the winner in the 2019 Copa del Reina final, did Garcia, who was upended there for a free kick. Carly Davis talked about her fantastic pedigree when signing, and she's starting to have an influence, isn't she, Garcia, with that pass for the shot over the bar, and now she wins a team a free kick. Will it be Green or Mustaki? Garcia just doing the laces up. Two-player wall for Portsmouth. They know they still have got some hard work to do here. Little conference there between Green and Mustaki. I think Green's going to pull rank here. No, it's Mustaki who takes it. She floats one, but straight into the grateful arms of Jess Gray. Just wouldn't come down quick enough for Nottingham Forest. Gray clatters clear. Hornby, the willing runner. Couldn't get the crumb of comfort on that occasion. But a worthy scorer of the game's only goal, given the work rate and quality she's exhibited in this contest. Is one going to be enough for Portsmouth? That question will be answered in the next 38 minutes plus stoppage time. In front of the Brian Clough stand, banks of the River Trent. Forest chasing the game, as they have been since the early stages. Mustaki. Straining every sinew there was Boy Clorka. Just trickled over the perimeter of the pitch though. Collins to take the throw in. Though headed from Mustaki. Deanne Rose. Been the nearly story for her. What might have been, but what could still be, I guess. She's made a few penetrative runs. Now it's the turn of Freya Thomas. Was the Players' Player of the Season in 2023-2024 for Forest. Also played a big role in getting promoted last year. Now, Vivian Leah. They've had a few players take the corners. It's the turn of Leah, the Arsenal low knee. Right boot, left wing. Another crucial header. They're going to get a chance from the right side, though. And Chloe Mustaki, licking the lips, relishes this prospect as Leah bent one in. Another corner for Forest, looking to level things up. Chloe Mustaki with the right arm up, the left boot used, hangs one in, looks a good one, the header over the bar. Not far from the leveller there, Jessie Stapleton up from the back. It just wouldn't come down for her. Mustaki arcing the ball in menacingly. It was a really well-struck corner, and she got too much on the header in the end, but they are carving out the chances either side of half-time. Nottingham Forest, they still believe they could get something here, but Stapleton unable to guide that one underneath the crossbar, and it remains 1-0 to the visitors. Thomas. Green. Thomas again. Amy Rogers. Was actually Forest's first signing since gaining promotion, Amy. Now it's Freya Thomas for Kirsty Smith. And Thomas has continued her run and clipped in the cross, but gathered wonderfully well by Gray. She's played with a real authority as the Portsmouth goalkeeper. That was awkward. Low, dipping, but collected it without too much trouble. You feel the balance of power has shifted a little bit, even though Portsmouth still lead. It's Forest who are asking all the questions here. Kirsty Smith gets it back. Another good Forest attack, but yet again, there's nothing at the end of it. No final product. It's backs to the walls. You feel they're going to have to just have a little spell where they have some possession here, Portsmouth, because it's Forest who are getting into the rhythm without necessarily finding that perfect pass to create the golden opportunity. They've manufactured a few good situations. Here's Garcia. And now it's with Thomas for Deanne Rose. Again, stifled in her attacking intent. Joined in the summer. Well, Stapleton's hoping to get on the end of this one. Vivienne Leah on dead ball duty. Prepares herself from the left wing. In it comes. Oh, and it's in at the far post. And Nottingham Forest are level. What a ball that is from Leah. And a really good finish as well. Well, Stapleton levels things up. The Arsenal loanee with an arcing ball. Stapleton, who just headed one over the bar from a right wing corner, played in by Mustaki. This time from the left wing, it was Leah with the assist. And Jessie Stapleton shows her prowess coming forward from the back. Makes no mistake. Close range finish. The Republic of Ireland international with a golden moment for the Nottingham Forest women. They'll feel they deserve that leveller. They've given Portsmouth plenty to think about either side of the break here. The set pieces have been giving them a few headaches. And powered home by the Forest number 2. It's 1-1. Jubilant Jessie. Well, they've had a few attempts from the corners from either side of Forest. You feel that goal had been coming, rather, from Jessie Stapleton, but who did serve notice of her ability to get into the positions of concern for Portsmouth. She headed over the bar from Mustaki from the right. From the left, Vivienne Leah. They didn't pick her up. She judged the flight to perfection. And here she is now doing her defensive job, just shepherding that one behind. So an all-action performance from Jessie Stapleton. We do have a substitution. And it's Jessie Gale for Ella Rutherford for Portsmouth. Rutherford, who got an assist for the goal, really effective in the first half, hasn't been able to influence the game too much in the second, and she's withdrawn for Jessie Gale, another one of their new signings, signed just before the season started. Jay Sadler was talking about her pace, directness and energy, and on loan from Arsenal. So certainly knows Viviane Lear on the opposition side very well. But Rutherford definitely played her part, but she's got a good amount of time to influence the game here as Jessie Gale. And that's perhaps evidence that Jay Sadler, not sure whether that's a reaction to conceding the equaliser or whether he was already thinking about it. But it's so important, isn't it, when you have a good spell in a game, to score in that spell, and Forest will be very happy they've done so. Their hard work paying off. They'd had a few sporadic bits of sparkle from open play, but it was the dead ball, the set piece, that undid the Pompey rearguard. Perhaps an unlikely scorer. She actually signed a long-term contract with the Hammers before joining on a loan, did Jessie Stapleton. So Hornby for Portsmouth in the first half. Stapleton for Forest in the second. They've got their tails up. They want to forge their way ahead. They'll feel now they can go on and win it. They've got good resilience and character, haven't they, this team under Carly Davis? Turning a deficit into an advantage in the last game. Will history repeat itself? Now Gale just having come on, and this Stapleton, well, she's putting in a player of the match performance here. Certainly in the second half is Jessie Stapleton, having scored the goal to bring a team level. That is a massive challenge. What a tackle that is from Stapleton on the substitute, who had the freshness, the energy off the bench, looking to make an impact. Stapleton denies it. Now it's up the other end with Leah. Leah, quick feet, is upended by Cone. Leah was just too full of running there. And this is a great position for a free kick. And Captain Molly will want to take this. Cone trying to provide the barrier. Mustaki is offering her services, but I think the captain might be telling her, I'm having a go here. She might be thinking about a cross, certainly with Stapleton up there. Anything's possible. Although she's actually stayed back for this as Jessie, the goal scorer. You feel it'll be the left of Mustaki or more likely the right of Green. 63rd minute at the City Ground. It's the right foot of the skipper. Green with the curler. Well, was she hoping there was someone at the back post? Was she going for goal there? Only she will know, but unable to wreak any havoc from that situation. They have had joy from the set pieces already in this half. It remains one apiece. Portsmouth just need to try and get out of their half. But whatever was said at half-time by Carly Davis has had an effect. Portsmouth were sitting pretty, but they've been forced back by a spirited Forest. It comes low, could have gone anywhere. The clearance finds its way towards Chloe Mustaki's had a good game. And now Rogers takes up the play with the chip ball. Garcia on the turn for Nottingham Forest. Will it be over the line? Cone hooks it away just in the nick of time from under the bar, within a whisker of the leveller. Danger hasn't gone. It's all Forest at the moment. Leah looks to get the shot away. Well, Garcia thought she'd got her team ahead there, and now it's with Thomas, Freya Thomas, up against Primer. In comes the cross, the low header. Garcia is hovering, keeps it alive. Panic stations there, they just can't get it to safety, Portsmouth. Eventually, Gale does some excellent work. She's made a difference since coming on, the replacement, but, well, that was heart in the mouth time for the Portsmouth defence. Looked as though it was just going to trickle over the line. Here's Hornby now, and they want her on the ball after what she did in the first half, but Forest will be backing themselves to get maximum points here, the way this game's going. Look, to all intents and purposes, they would level. I think it was Cone who scrambled it away from off the line there. No VAR in WSL2. Yeah, I'm sure its time will come. But to the naked eye, that looked as though she definitely got it away before it crept over. Cone. She's going to be an important player this season, isn't she? Hannah Cone. Well, it's been a lively second period and a very satisfying one for the home side. Looks like we've got the keeper requiring some more treatment here, Jess Gray, and that allows the players to go and take the fluid levels on. A few words of it. I think Portsmouth might actually benefit from this stoppage more than Forest. It is their keeper who did need some medical assistance in the first half. She has made important saves in the game. She was unable to keep out Stapleton's equaliser. Looks to be a right leg. And, well, Jay Sadler, this is a big little impromptu team talk he's got to do, because he will have been really happy at half-time, but Forest have really imposed themselves on proceedings since they came back out. And the first half of the second half, they did deserve their equaliser. Overall, on the game in general, you say 1-1's about right, but Forest, you'd think with the way it's situated at the moment, even though Portsmouth did lead for a long time, they'd be the happier if it was to remain this scoreline. Jess Gray beaten by the header of Jessie Stapleton from Vivienne Lear's crisply struck left wing corner. And we will be able to resume fairly shortly. It's a busy day of action and plenty of goals. 5 in South Yorkshire. Sheffield United with a crucial win against Ipswich. 3-2. Birmingham 0, Southampton 2's the latest, as is Bristol City 2, Durham 1. Palace are 1-0 up on Newcastle. Sunderland 0, Charlton 1. And it's 1-1 here between Forest and Portsmouth. Meg Hornby in the first half of the visitors. Jessie Stapleton with the equaliser for the team in red. Rogers back for Batty. Hornby making a nuisance of herself. Now it's Gale, the substitute, plays it back. Opportunity to retake the lead here. It's a good block and a vital block as well. Danger hasn't gone though, with Rowbottom trying to get there, and now Freeland. It was Jemima Dahu with the shot there. Good defending by Nottingham Forest, and it had to be. Cone leading a team forward. Much better this from Portsmouth. In comes the cross, but pouched expertly by Emily Batty. Watch the trajectory of that one straight into the gloves. 69 gone, 1-1. Rogers and Boy-Clorker in the middle, too much on that one. Gray gathers. Then rolls it for Dahu. Cone. Freeland. Jessie Gale, full of running. She's going to take on the goal scorer Stapleton and get the better of her. Gale for Portsmouth, deflected onto the roof of the net. So close for Jessie Gale. She's been outstanding since coming on. Pace, energy, directness, got the shot away, and it's top quality defending that denies her. You can tell from her body language she was backing herself to score there, but Forest had other ideas. It remains 1-1. Jessie Gale with an excellent opportunity for the visitors. Here's the resulting corner after her shot took that deflection. Row bottom. And in it comes from Primmer. And they'll be very encouraged by what they've done. The substitution from Jay Sadler has definitely made a difference since they conceded the equaliser. Gale entering the fray has put Forest onto the back foot. She's not just about speed, it's getting into the right positions as well. Shrugged off Stapleton. Good battle between those two. But last-ditch defending just did enough. It could easily have looped into the net, that. As it was, it just went over the bar. Is it another pendulum swing in the game? Quite the wake-up call, that goal from Stapleton. And it suggests, with the nature of the substitution and the way they've applied themselves since conceding the equaliser, Portsmouth are still going for the 3 points here. Now it's with Boy-Clorker. Controls and curls over the cross. Didn't quite get the weight right or the accuracy. Good ball there by keeper Gray, but Forest have got it back. Boy-Clorker. Such a good technical player. Thomas. And Smith. Thomas again. Mustaki. Loves getting forward. Rogers. Over 18 minutes to go, plus stoppage time, to find a winner here. Deanne Rose. Up against Collins. Rose retains possession impressively. Great interception by Hornby, who's really rolled her sleeves up at time, getting back, tracking back to help the defence. The scorer of Portsmouth's goal. That seems a long time ago now. Rogers. Mustaki with Rose available. Goes the other way. Lovely work that by Thomas. And Stapleton for Vivienne Leah. But that one just balloons up into the grateful arms of Gray. Green for Mustaki. Rogers. Mustaki again. Rose calling for it short. Guides it for Garcia. Rose against Jazz Bull. The Portsmouth captain and right back. Well, Rose doing some sterling work. Well, we know what happened from an earlier corner from Vivienne Leah. It ended up in the back of the net via Jessie Stapleton. Is another corner from the right boot of Vivienne Leah, going to cause problems for Portsmouth. Approaching the 74-minute mark, over it comes again. Boychlorka, left-footed! Well, I think she was trying to guide that inside the post. It was a difficult angle for her, couldn't quite wrap her foot round the ball. There was a deflection in and amongst that beforehand, and were okay to resume, but it was headed by Cohn into the feet of Boychlorka. Second bite of the cherry, clipped it wide. And looks like we're about to have another substitution. You did feel that the replacements would make their mark. Gale's been particularly bright, hasn't she, for Portsmouth, almost scoring. I think we're about to see Greta Humphreys, but Gale again. Well, it's been an absorbing subplot, hasn't it? Gale versus Stapleton. Stapleton wins that mini tussle. Compelling second half. A fascinating head-to-head, this really. Hasn't been thrill a minute, but there's been plenty to keep our attention. Boychlorka. Impeccable layoff for Thomas. I think the plan is for Humphreys to come on for Dahu in a moment for Portsmouth on the ball's out of play. Mustaki. Boychlorka competing for the ball. Breaks for Rogers, but away by Pompey. And Portsmouth are going to make that substitution. Greta Humphreys, another one of their summer signings, number 15, on for Jemima Dahu, who's had a good day at the office. But Humphreys, signed from Chelsea, second tier experience, youngster, gets her chance. Had loans last season at Bristol City in the first half and Charlton in the second, so well versed at this level. Boychlorka from range, she's going to go for glory! Oh, what a strike! And Nottingham Forest take the lead. That is absolutely outrageous. They've come from behind in the second WSL2 game running. Take a bow, Chantal Boychlorka. Glee for the number 33. And she was just expecting to score. She took a couple of touches, set herself over Jess Gray and into the back of the net. That is tremendous by the Trent. She adorns this fixture with a moment of magic, of sheer quality, and if that's the winner, it is a worthy winner. Class, pure class from Chantal Boychlorka of Nottingham Forest. They lead Portsmouth by 2-1. From range, right out of the top drawer. Jess Gray's a good keeper, as we've seen, but she was pouring at thin air. And you have to applaud the bounce-back ability of this Carly Davis Nottingham Forest team. You did wonder how they would acquit themselves stepping up a level. And they're acquitting themselves very capably. Ghana international. She got a bronze medal in the Africa Cup of Nations earlier this year, did Chantal. And, you know, when you're talking about getting ready for this division after promotion, if you sign a player like that, who was so important for the London City Lionesses in winning the title and getting up into the WSL, then maybe we shouldn't be surprised that she scored from there, but great goal. Forest are about to make a double switch. think Amy Claypole's one of those to come on. So they're about to. So Rose and Garcia, who've had some good moments. Garcia, clever touches. Rose, forceful runs. Another silky player as well as Deanne. And they've turned this one round. Portsmouth's big moment came to Gale, didn't it, at 1-1. That was a huge factor in the game. If that had gone in, they would have retaken the lead. But Forest with 2 second-half goals, 2 different types of goals. One from close range from Stapleton, and then a blockbuster from Chantal Boyd-Lorca. So just kept waiting in the wings now are Holly Olding and Amy Claypole. We believe their entry is imminent. Rogers and Thomas for Kirsty Smith. Bursting run. Vivienne Leah. She's a game changer, and it was her corner that was converted by Stapleton. They needed that first goal. But while Jessie Gale's making some of these sprints forward, Portsmouth are still in this. Are they going to succumb to another defeat? That win for Sheffield United put them onto the basement. But that's where they were at the start of last season and were able to survive. Forest, you feel, will have loftier ambitions the way they're going. So here they come. Claypole and Olding. Deanne Rose, well, she hasn't scored, but she's definitely given her all. And they enjoyed her performance, did the Forest fans who've turned up here. And the other player to be withdrawn is Nahikari Garcia, who produces those flicks, those dummies, makes the clever runs. Good stuff from her. Muy bueno, as they'd say in her country. But they're good, proven players coming on. Claypole actually got an assist for Freya Thomas's goal against Bristol City. Played for Durham last season. We finished 4th. She was actually nominated for Championship Player of the Season, so it's not weakening the team, is it, bringing her on, and Holly Olding as well in her second season with the club. Key role with over 30 appearances last term. She's actually, Holly Olding is the mental health ambassador for the club, and she's done some really good work in the club's community trust programmes. 2-1 Forest. They want a third. They want that buffer to put this one to bed now. And great work by Amy Claypole, showing the effervescence and ebullience that a substitution can bring. So Mustaki's going to take this. There have been some exceptional set pieces in this game. Mustaki on duty from the right side. Prepares and launches it goalwards. Good firm header away. Thomas up against Hornby, the Portsmouth goal scorer. Hornby grappling, jousting for the ball with Thomas, who falls to the turf and wins the free kick. Vivianne Leah being withdrawn, and Cara Hamilton will play for the closing stages. Former Lewis captain, Northern Ireland international. But Vivianne Leah, an assist for the first goal with a well-taken left-wing corner that ended up onto the head of Jessie Stapleton. Hamilton is on. A player in her second season with the club. Well, it's promotion last term. It's going to be more than consolidation the way they're going. 5 to go at the City Ground. Free kick, Mustaki. In it goes, and there's Boychlorka. She wanted another, this time with her head. Flashes wide of the target, and it's a golden chance to make the point safe. Boychlorka, who scored an absolute blockbuster earlier in the half from a long way out, from much closer in. She just couldn't guide it inside the post, and it remains 2-1. Still work to do. Beauty of a ball from Mustaki. She really does clip those in superbly. And Boychlorka disappointed not to find the net there. She clearly only does worldies. Boychlorka playing with the swagger of someone who's just potentially produced the match-winning moment. Still time for the visitors, but Forest will be very proud of the way they've hung in there when things weren't going their way, and then shown their quality when they've needed it. Stapleton. Rogers just pulls the strings. Batty. Foul there on Boychlorka, and they're just wondering, Forest, whether could have played on there, because might have been in with a run towards goal, but Boychlorka brought down there. What a first season it promises to be with the club for Boychlorka. Now it's captain Molly Green, just inside the Portsmouth half. Header down towards Boychlorka again. Kirsty Smith. But flag raised wouldn't have counted if Boychlorka had got a touch on that one. Gray gets it forward. Been much the better team in the second half, bar the odd counter from sub Jessie Gale. I'm told we are going to get plenty of additional time, so that might just give Portsmouth a lift. Claypole. Beavering away well. Good industry from her, having just come onto the pitch. Portsmouth are going to bring on Chloe Sheffield momentarily. Stapleton. And again. Well, if you're looking for a player of the match, Stapleton, she's not far away, not only because of her goal. Might be in again here, waiting in the middle is Claypole. Here's Smith. Good sliding challenge. But Forest at the moment looking the more likely scorers, and they have the lead. Rogers. That one should just run out of play and does. So Sheffield is to come onto the pitch. And replacing Annie Wilding, whose race is run. Is Sheffield going to be able to impact this game? Here come Forest again, Boyd Lorca again. And now Thomas. 6 minutes of additional time. We're into the first minute of that. But it's Forest who've been camped inside the Portsmouth half for the majority of this second 45 minutes. And if they can keep the ball, they know the points are going to be theirs. But Gale won't stop running. She won't allow them to settle. And here is Sheffield looking for her first touch, away by Green. Kirsty Smith. Brilliant fitness levels. Rogers. And a free kick for Forest. They won't hurry to take it. Are they on course for their second successive 2-1 win in WSL 2? They haven't had it all their own way by any means. They were behind for a long time. Hornby with the early goal. But they got themselves going just before the break. They didn't get a goal towards the end of the first half, but that just teed up what was to come. The chances they created. Stapleton it was with a header, getting the ball away there with the first goal. Forward by Collins. Looks as though the visitors are just going to fall short. They'll learn the lessons from this one, but they're lost by the odd goal to Ipswich. It's a tough league. It's a competitive league. And at the moment, we're in the lower reaches. So many games still to come. So many twists and turns. Forest closing in on a first home league win. And they might get another one here. Out comes the keeper, can't get there. Glorious chance now for Nottingham Forest to make it 3, and that's exactly what they've done. Amy Claypole, the substitute, secures a first home league win of the season. It's back-to-back victories in WSL 2. They are flying just now, Carly Davis's outfit. What a second half performance. The subs have made their mark. Claypole rounded keeper Jess Gray and then scored calm as you like. She got an assist against Bristol City. Now she finds the back of the net herself. Celebration for Claypole. Celebration for Nottingham Forest. They produced the goods here at the City Ground to lead Portsmouth by 3-1. And now the points are safely in the bag. She had a lot to do there, did Claypole, but she was able to negotiate that task quite superbly. 3-1, game, set and match. No doubt about the points. And, well, started with so much promise this game for Portsmouth. They seized the advantage through Hornby. Couple of minutes of stoppage time there, reeling here at Portsmouth. They're on the ropes. In fact, they're more or less on the canvas, aren't they? Knockout blows from Stapleton, from Boy Hawker with the goal of the game, and from Claypole. So sharing the goals round what's been a scintillating second half showing from the home team. There is an air of inevitability about this outcome now, but Boy Hawker it was who adorned this contest with a moment of great individualism, spotting the keeper off a line and hitting home. Can they get a fourth just to put the cherry on top of the icing, on top of the cake? They can. It's another long ranger. Absolutely staggering stuff. It's 4 for Nottingham Forest. They have just oozed quality in this second period. They've been unstoppable. It's another absolute beauty. And it's Holly Olding with another belter. We had a corker from Boy Hawker earlier on, and Olding not to be outdone. Pure panache, poise and prowess. Well outside the box. Super subs. First, it was Claypole. Also in added time, Holly Olding makes her mark. Emphatically so. A delightful goal. Formidable Forest. 4-1. And well, it's funny to say, really, the result was in doubt until stoppage time. But they've run away with this in the end. Well, Portsmouth look like they don't know what's hit them. A quadruple whammy in the second 45. Some terrific goals. Portsmouth pulled apart. They were so good in the first half. There's the final whistle. Job done for Nottingham Forest, racking up the goals. They fell behind to an early one from Meg Hornby, but it was sensational in the second half from Carly Davis's outfit. First of all, a header from Jessie Stapleton, then an absolute blockbuster of a goal from long range by Chantal Boy Hawker, and 2 in injury time from the substitutes, Amy Claypole, and then another screamer, this time from Holly Olding to make it 4-1. And that was exceptional, excellent, outstanding, and the grins on the Forest faces say it all. Tough to take for Portsmouth. An afternoon that started with great promise with the Hornby goal. They were really good in the first half. They had the odd foray with substitute Jessie Gale making life difficult at times in the second, but Forest fully deserved their win. And whatever Carly Davis said to her team at half-time had an incredible effect. She's quite a modest individual. I'm sure she won't take the credit. The players have still got to do it, but have they delivered for her here? And this is a real statement victory from Nottingham Forest. They've shown, as they did in the last game, they're not going to mope if they go behind. They're going to find a way, and they found a way. Jessie Stapleton, really good header from that cross from the left by Vivienne Leah. That was what they needed. They needed the golden moment. They needed the clinical cutting edge, and then that laid the foundations for what was to come. Boy Hawker, well, she might pose for the cameras, and Carly Davis is delighted with her individual brilliance. Such a lovely crisp strike of the ball from range to beat the backtracking keeper Jess Gray, who made good saves in the first half. And then it was icing on the cake time, wasn't it, in stoppage time. Portsmouth chasing the game, but they weren't really able to get out of their own half. And she took the goal really well, did Amy Claypole, drawing keeper Gray and putting into the net from close range. And then a fourth goal added to their jubilation from Holly Olding, who was surrounded by her teammates as she bashed one with power and with skill past Gray again, who was a very busy keeper for Portsmouth. So Pompey with a goal early in the first half, Forest with 4 in the second. They have their first home league win of the season. Portsmouth with just the 1 3-point haul so far, but 9 points from the first 5 games is a good return following their promotion. Forest will be much the happier here. It's a big victory for the Tricky Trees. They've seen off the Pompey challenge as it finishes at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest 4, Portsmouth 1. And here are the stats, and look at those number of shots there. 21 for Forest. Most of them came in the second half. 10 on target and 4 that really mattered. They gave their all, Portsmouth. It was a battling, shackling display. It was your classic away smash and grab, really, up until what happened towards the end. But Forest, with most of those passes hitting the intended targets. Just the 1 yellow card, was played in good spirits, the game. 2 sides with different ambitions head to head, but Forest winning by 4 goals to 1. They found the ruthless cutting edge in the second half. Let's take a look at the other scorelines from a packed programme of action in WSL 2. Lots of goals, aren't there? Sheffield United beating Ipswich 3-2. Big win for the Blades. Birmingham 1, Southampton 2 is the latest score, right in the dying embers of that one. Bristol City have seen off Durham by 2 goals to 1. Sharing of the spoils in London. Crystal Palace 2, Newcastle 2, 4-1 here. And a good away win for Charlton at Sunderland. A long trip for them and an enjoyable journey home as they've seen off the North East side by 2 goals to 0. We're going to bring you the highlights, and there were plenty of those, weren't there, in the second half. I'm sure Forest fans will be staying tuned for those, with 4 goals and 4 different scorers as well. I think that will please Carly Davis. Portsmouth's goal coming from Meg Hornby, but it's a tough trip back to the south coast for them. They've got to lick their wounds from this one and go again, but well, it's a good day of goal scoring. Maths was never my strong point at school, but I made that 22 goals in the 6 fixtures, so that's a good average. And we'll bring you the match action in a moment as some of the Forest players just go on the warm down in front of us. We can have a look at what that means for the league table. All those goals flying in. It's taking shape, isn't it? I see it's taking shape for Nottingham Forest. 3rd in the league after that win. 4 goals to 1, which we brought to you live on this part of the YouTube channel. Charlton lead the way. They're unbeaten. 4 wins and a draw from their first 5. Birmingham in hot pursuit. 3-point gap now. Bristol City in 4th. But it doesn't make good reading for Portsmouth fans. They drop to the foot of the table with Sheffield United's win against Ipswich. So Sheffield United going above Ipswich and Portsmouth. It's a big victory for them. And Portsmouth with their -7 goal difference. Still time to go, though. And you have to look back to last season. As I mentioned during commentary, they lost their first 7 games last season and still found a way to stay up. So that it's still far too early. They're only, 3 points from 7th. So there's still lots of ebbing and flowing to come in the standings. But that's how it looks after match day 5. Remember, 22 match days. So still a big part of the season remaining. And we'll bring you the highlights very shortly. Remember, every WSL2 game is live on our YouTube channel. And Forest are going to be a good team to watch, I think, with the goal power they've got. And not only Boyd, Lorca and Stapleton scoring who started, how about the strength of the subs when you look at what Claypole and Olding did, both scoring, then that's going to give Carly Davis and her staff a lot of satisfaction given what's to come. And they'll hope to have a good campaign in the League Cup as well, having won their first game in that. Portsmouth, I mean, I don't know if you'd want to be playing your big rivals next after this. Maybe it's a good thing because they're actually playing South Coast rival Southampton in the League Cup in midweek and then in the league next weekend. So a couple of really tasty fixtures to look forward to. But they look good in the first half hour. I thought they were excellent. Portsmouth, they deserved their lead. They were the breakaways were good. Hornby got a goal, might have had another. Forest, yeah, they had a few long ranges, but they weren't looking like scoring. But it's as if a switch was touched by the Forest. It's not only whatever was said at half-time. You'd have to say Forest were looking dangerous just before the break, but maybe a few messages were got across. They absorbed them and executed the game plan brilliantly in the second half. And we're hoping to bring you the highlights very soon, so make sure you stay tuned. A reminder of the stats from the game. And it was entertaining stuff, really. And look at those 8 corners. That they actually were a big factor for Forest because they were just pushing Portsmouth back, and they did score from one of them. But right until injury time, it was far from a done deal. Just, Portsmouth will probably say, well, those 2 goals have put an unfair gloss on the scoreline, but I don't think you can argue, given the overall match we saw, that Forest were worthy winners. And a couple of really, I mean, Jessie Stapleton took hers well, and so did Claypole. So I'm not disrespecting them in any way, but we had a couple of contenders probably for goal of the month already for Forest. The first from Boyd Lorca, and from slightly closer in from Holly Olding as well. And as promised, we can bring you the highlights from the game. And there were lots of those. It was a bit of a slow burn, you might say. It certainly was for Forest. But it was Portsmouth who started the bride of Rutherford with a defence-splitting ball. Hornby, couple of touches, waited for the moment. Keeper came out and steered it unerringly into the corner. And it looks so good here for Portsmouth for a famous away day. Meg Hornby gobbling up the opportunity. Rutherford takes a lot of credit with the pass, but Hornby got a slight touch, maybe did Batty, but she was never going to keep that one out. And it was looking very good for Portsmouth. However, Forest penned them back. This is a little bit of a preview before the main feature from Jessie Stapleton, because from a right-wing corner of Mustaki here, she headed over the bar. No joy for her there, but there certainly was joy for her from the other side of the pitch, as Leah played the corner, and there was Stapleton. They didn't pick her up. She got the better of Georgie Freeland, steered it in, and that set the tone for what was to come. Even the eternal optimist of Forest maybe wasn't expecting 3 more goals, but that is what they got. Stapleton getting them level, and they just kept charging forward. Here's Garcia with the shot that deflected off Collins, and somehow Hannah Cohn hooked it away. I'm not quite sure how she cleared that from right underneath the crossbar. That's brilliant defending from her. However, how about this? A blockbuster, long ranger, absolutely outstanding from Chantel Boy Clorker, the Ghana international, with a beautiful moment. The smile says it all. Manufactured the space, manoeuvred the ball, and floated it magnificently into the net. That was 2-1 in injury time. The subs strutted their stuff. First of all, it was Amy Claypole, fresh off the bench, who secured the win effectively, gave them the buffer of a 2-goal lead, and she took that one wonderfully well. So clinical from Claypole. 3-1. The scoring wasn't over, as one touch to control, and then how about that? That's every bit as good as Boy Lorca's long ranger, isn't it? From Holly Olding. Holly feeling jolly for Nottingham Forest. That put the gloss on the scoreline, with Olding a golden moment and an absolutely brilliant second half. Jack Woodward signing off from the East Midlands. It was stunning from the home side after the break as it finishes. Nottingham Forest women 4, Portsmouth women 1. Good afternoon.